Trolls are large, strong beings composed of the surrounding ground type of whatever area that they are situated in, and as such appear in different forms, including rock, earth/soil, ice, swamp, and forest. In this lore video, as it may seem obvious, we are doing it on trolls. This is due to a comment requesting trolls, so this one goes out to you. So let's get straight into it.
Yeah, and as always, thanks for the engagement, thanks for the suggestions, and we doing a bit of research this morning into trolls before recording, and actually there was some stuff that I didn't actually know in there, so that's great. That's how it works. So trolls were considered to be amongst the first creatures ever to wander in Albion, and this was revealed in the Creatures of Albion Book 2 that trolls are born of the land that they inhabit, which then influences their appearance and their disposition. As the dragons were masters of the air and the mysterious krakens held ultimate dominion over Albion seas, trolls were the dominant life form on the lands of Albion.
As it was with other mystical beasts like dragons and griffins, this changed with the advent of Albion's ultimate inhabitants, the humans. Trolls were, like dragons, hunted down by the Old Kingdom huntsmen originally to keep the kingdom safe, but eventually for sheer sport. Even by the time of the original Fable game, trolls are relatively rare and uncommon, and some varieties of troll, like the Platinum Troll, are already entirely extinct.
The first troll that you can encounter would be during the Trader Escort quest in Darkwood, right near to the start of the game. Whilst you're approaching the exit of Darkwood to Barrow Fields, an earth troll digs itself out of the ground. Unless you are using the Grey House and Ancient Cullis Gate method of power leveling, in which case the first troll appears at the Ancient Cullis Gate or Greatwood Lake. Trolls are relatively easy to defeat in Fable since they are slow, with attacks that are fairly easy to avoid, but be aware that trolls have a large amount of health. And also, by the way, the ice trolls definitely don't have attacks that are easy to avoid.
Yeah, or when you're fighting two of the rock trolls in the arena at the same time.
Yeah, because no one helps distract the other one for you.
Yeah, looking at you, Whisper. But yeah, so when attacking, earth trolls actually have 2,000 HP and are pretty straightforward to defeat. You can either hit them with as many attacks and flourishes as possible, or you can actually knock back their projectiles, but doing this is pretty tricky. You can use slow time to make it a lot easier, but it's very, very effective if you do choose to do this method, as it actually kills the troll in 2 hits if you knock them back, 4 hits if it's a rock troll, and depending on where they're struck. So, if you want a really, really easy and high skill way to do it, with slow time, you can knock them their attacks back. But for most people, I think you just kind of beat them down and dodge their attacks.
Yeah, I mean, my method that I guess I've always done ever since my very first playthrough was, and I'm not particularly a ranged attacker, apart from on a lot of boss fights, because you get some space and time to see what's happening. So with trolls, it's just you keep your space, get your bow out with multi-arrow, and you just kind of, strafe side to side and roll if you need to occasionally to avoid some rocks, and then get your attacks off, and it should be pretty easy. Rock trolls are a bit more tough. They've got 5,000 HP. Magical attacks don't do a huge amount. They've got faster rock attacks, and also, with multiple rocks that they can throw at once. And also their close quarters attack is kind of, I guess, quite a bit more than what the earth troll can do. I think it says it's weaker, but I think it's harder to avoid. You just have to roll outwards again, obviously. But yeah, there you go. And then finally in Fable, there's ice trolls that we mentioned briefly before, 7,000 HP, and they only appear in the Lost Chapters. They're very tough with that 7,000 HP, but they've also got those attacks that basically can get you whatever happens. Like you can't avoid the attacks, which is really annoying. But by that point, you're enough of a tank that you shouldn't have much of an issue. It's just you got to take the hits and then come back in with some better ones.
Yeah, ice trolls are definitely the king of trolls in the original Fable, for sure. Completely like a beast in terms of stats, and obviously, yeah, as you said, their moves are pretty annoying to dodge. You kind of just have to tank through some of the hits and keep going. But anyways, there's a little bit of trivia here. So trolls are actually weak against the piercing and sharpening augmentations, which makes sense. You're sort of cutting through the rock or the material that they're created out of. So it makes more sense compared to if you're using any other enchantments or augmentations. And obviously, as we said before, trolls are also weak against their own thrown projectiles, but with the 3 boulder attack thrown by the rock trolls, you can't really hit those back, because obviously you can only hit 1 at a time, so the other 2 will just splash hit you anyways. So it's definitely a lot more difficult, and this doesn't even work at all with ice trolls. Any strength requirements necessary to hit back the projectiles are unknown, which basically just means that the strength requirement is higher than what is physically possible to attain in the game. So we don't know what the damage is if you hit the ice troll's projectiles back at it.
Yeah, and trolls' biggest weakness, I guess, or particular weakness that I've exploited, is that they're weak against arrows shot towards their eyes or face. Headshots generally are good in most games. So in Fable 2, you encounter trolls again, but less frequently. You generally meet the first troll at the end of the quest of Bargain, where you can bribe Lucian's former butler to tell you where Lucian's diary is. You do need to kill the forest troll because he is blocking the spot where the diary is buried. The second troll is at the last round of the Crucible, during the quests The Crucible and the Crucible Champion. It's a rock troll, and that's obviously much harder to kill than a forest troll, and basically it's a bit smarter and a bit tougher. And then the third troll you meet in the main quest is a swamp troll, which is something that you hadn't met in the first Fable, which is near the end of Wraith Marsh, during the quest called Stranded. Swamp trolls are the hardest kind of troll to beat. This one is especially hard because there are some hollow men attacking both of you and the troll in the middle of the fight. This troll is different than the others because you actually have the option to ignore him and still finish the quest. But an interesting trick you can do is if you go onto the bridge and stand near where the support rope connects to the bridge on the side nearest the troll cannot hit you easily, as the fence can block it if you're not too close, and then on the bridge hollow men will not respawn. So taking advantage of this makes the troll that much easier to kill should you want to actually kill it. It's a pretty good little thing.
That's a good little trick, yeah. You also have to fight a rock troll in the quest Something Rotten, where you have to find out why Rookwitch Inn smells so bad. The source of the smell is actually the troll itself, and this one is the same as the Crucible rock troll that you just mentioned, but you can stand higher so you can avoid a lot of its attacks. And by this point you probably have a lot more skills and skill points, so you're usually just that little bit more strong and a bit more prepared for the fight here. And then next in the DLC Knothole Island, the third quest, Knothole Island's Drowning, you are in the Storm Shrine, and in the final room you meet another swamp troll. There is no option to avoid this one because there is a door that stays closed until the troll is dead. This troll is the only troll you can actually kind of train on, because every time you get in the cave you can just run to the room with the troll straight away. So I guess you can sort of respawn it and keep fighting it repeatedly to train up your skill points, which is pretty helpful.
Yeah, and
I don't think Peter would be happy with that though.
Yeah, that's right, go vegan. Finally, a rare 5-star bounty hunter job or equivalent community service quest may pit you against troll as well. So we'll talk about some of the attacking and stuff in a minute. But we'll just want to keep going through, I guess, the appearances in games and everything. So in Fable 3, it then revealed that trolls have actually finally been ousted from the cultivated regions of Albion by King Logan, who commissioned a series of powerful hammers known as the Troll Blight Hammers for a campaign to exterminate every large troll from Albion. It was considered to be largely successful.
Trolls return in Fable the Journey, revealing that while they have been forced out of the mainland of Albion, trolls still thrive in the wild northern frontier of Albion known as the Edgelands. So their race isn't completely extinct, but they're basically gone from the main sections of the map.
Yeah, so in the game Fable the Journey, the first troll that's encountered is within the caverns of Blade Barrow, and more trolls found throughout the forest and caves of the Edgelands. Trolls do attempt to attack Gabriel by throwing boulders and by utilising a rock attack similar to the one in Fable 2. In addition, trolls can summon creatures such as rock mites and stingers to aid them.
There appear to be two kinds of trolls in Fable the Journey. One type of troll has glowing blue eyes, summons the rock mites, and has rocks on its back to blend into the environment. and the other kind of troll is often found in the forests, and it has glowing orange eyes, summons stingers instead, and has a tree on its back. So I guess we sort of have a forest troll and a rock troll, but they're not explicitly stated to be those types of trolls, but it's a pretty safe assumption.
Yeah. So basically that's the mainline appearance in the games. We've got a bit of trivia in there, and then we want to ask the question about what Logan was doing by trying to exterminate him. In the original beta map of the original Fable, the ancient Cullisgate region, which was originally called Troll Fields due to the regular spawn of trolls, which is kind of interesting. And if you get close enough to trolls, you can actually see that they are not attached to the ground in any way, making the reason why they do not chase after you once they have caught their attention a mystery.
In Fable, the stick is the only weapon that can't hurt a troll directly. However, you can still knock back their rocks with the stick. So I guess their skin is a little too tough for a stick, but you can knock back their big boulders with them.
Yeah. In Fable, there are a lot of trolls that you can fight whenever you like, but in Fable 2, there are just 2 repeatable trolls, one in the Crucible and the other in the Storm Shrine on Knothole Island. And then there are bounty hunter trolls as well, but they're pretty rare. And then in the Lost Chapters, the description of the Archon's battle armor states that platinum trolls once existed but are now extinct. The armor description also states platinum is the hardest material known to man, yet the real-world metal has none of the properties suggested in the game. It is as soft and malleable as gold, making it a poor armor choice for troll or man alike.
In Fable, and Fable the Lost Chapters, and also Fable Anniversary, trolls will laugh at the hero if he gets hit by one of their attacks, which is pretty funny. Basically, if they hit you with a rock that they've thrown, it'll laugh at you when you're on the ground.
I'll try and find a soundbite of that as well. It's kind of funny. Yep. So in Fable and the Lost Chapters as well, rock trolls and sometimes earth trolls and ice trolls are easily defeated by repeatedly using the Assassin Rush spell. This works because the trolls are confused, because the hero is moving at a very quick speed, moving from the front of the troll to the back of the troll. If you repeatedly use this, the troll will be unable to attack.
Yep, just another one of those little game exploits or glitches that result from the Assassin Rush spell. I feel like that spell almost exclusively is the reason why there are easy to abuse bugs in Fable at this point. So if you have 2 trolls and you repeat the previous tactic that you just talked about with the Assassin Rush spell, make sure to try and roll back to behind the other troll so that it blocks the original troll's projectile attacks. So this is basically during the arena fight. You basically can't abuse this mechanic because there are 2 trolls trying to throw rocks at you. But if you are able to get behind the other troll that you're fighting, they'll be able to hit each other with their projectiles, which can be pretty helpful, but it's pretty difficult to pull off, I've found, because they throw the three rocks at the same time. One of them almost always knocks you out from behind the troll that you're trying to hide behind anyways, so...
I mean, alternatively, you could just slap Whisper in the face and tell her to pull her socks up and actually do something.
The only problem with that is if she throws a bomb at the troll you're fighting, she's going to knock you over too, which is very, very annoying. So this fight is basically just all you, no matter what happens.
Damn Whisper. So the previous tactic we just mentioned also works for ice trolls in the Lost Chapters, but they might start hitting the ground to spawn ice crystals, which will then knock you back. I mean, they will start doing that, like guaranteed. Yeah. Guaranteed. There's the only tactic that works for taking out ice troll is to be able to be a tank and take damage, because you're going to do it whatever happens. Earth trolls might simply hit the ground to knock you back, so with earth trolls it's obviously very good, but with ice trolls you can try and you might get some success, but I wouldn't advise it.
Yep. In Fable 2, the use of the Raised Head spell can actually simplify a troll battle, as the troll, along with any of its minions, if it's the troll fight in the Crucible, will actually target the ghost rather than the hero. The ghosts, however, do not combat the troll and instead just attempt to return to you, requiring constant recasting as far away as possible in order to maintain the benefits. So if you keep spawning ghosts as far away from you as possible, the troll just won't ever attack you, which is pretty helpful. But they don't actually fight the troll for you, so...
Yep, and then it's possible to defeat the Crucible troll in Fable 2 as well in under 30 seconds by casting a level 3 time spell running up to the troll and recasting a spell, and then immediately casting a level 5 lightning, and it will one-shot the troll.
That's pretty crazy. Another way to defeat the troll in the allotted time is to cast the level 3 slow time, and then fully charge a chaos spell right next to the troll. The troll will then have a giant mask on its face and then just constantly spin around, and all you have to do is cast a level 5 shock and all the nerve tendrils will be destroyed. So I guess there are many ways to do it. I think slow time is probably one of the best spells in all the games, because you can do so many things that you wouldn't actually expect to work, but because it's Fable it does, and that's honestly one of the reasons why I love the game so much. So I guess that's pretty much it for the trivia, isn't it? So I guess we sort of wanted to pose the question at the end here. Why did King Logan attempt to wipe out all the trolls?
I mean, there's nothing as usual that have been suggested by Lionhead, but I guess one theory would be that he obviously knew about the corruption and what was going on, and didn't want to give them powerful powerful allies to take over, maybe.
Yeah, I guess the trolls are always sort of shown as, they're fairly sentient. Like, they may be dumb and slow, but they're definitely they're capable of laughing at the hero after hitting them. They're capable of a decent amount of cognitive thought. So I feel like, maybe if the corruption wasn't actively allied with them already, I feel like it definitely would have sought them out as an ally, and the trolls, having been basically exterminated from their homeland already, would absolutely side with the corruption, I feel like, to wipe out humanity. So I feel like it's definitely a smart move from Logan to defend humanity by getting rid of the trolls, I guess, completely this time.
Yeah, there's some fan theories online that I've seen that basically the hero from Fable 2, which is obviously Logan's parent, would tell stories to him potentially about some of the escapades as a younger hero, and that involved obviously taking on trolls as well. And this is something that when Logan grew up having fears of things like Hollow Men, etc., he wanted to, I guess, continue his parents' great work. I'm not sure if that's true. I think that it is going to be more likely that everything that he did in game was related to this corruption coming, and I think that's the only plausible theory, is he just wanted to get rid of a powerful ally for the corruption. So if they could basically take over the trolls, then those are pretty tough beings at the best of times. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I definitely think it's more likely that it's that, because there isn't really too much evidence of him pursuing anything like personal. So if he was killing the trolls to continue his parents' work or whatever, I feel like that would be a bit of a stretch. He doesn't really do anything else that sort of implies that it's for personal gain. Like, everything he does in game, as you said, is basically to pursue the one goal of stopping the corruption. So I feel like it wouldn't be too far of a stretch to just assume that he's pursuing this goal for a similar reason. So yeah, I reckon that's fair, but I'm sure there are many reasons why he could have. So definitely, if any of you guys have any, let us know in the comments, because I think Logan's a pretty interesting character, despite Fable 3 having slightly less interesting characters overall. So yeah, let us know. And with that, I think we're pretty much done with our video on trolls.
Yes, we are. See you next time.